The holographic Earth spun lazily in the center of Lecture Hall Gamma, its blue oceans and green continents glowing against the purple ambient lighting of the tiered metallic walls. Professor Zalthorn, the insectoid instructor with her bronze chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the lights, stood on the central stage, all four arms gesturing emphatically at the projection. Her compound eyes glittered as her mandibles clicked together in what passed for academic enthusiasm among her species. Death World Classification 7, Zalthorn announced, her voice crackling with barely contained horror. Observe the atmospheric oxygen content, 21%. For context, anything above 8% is considered chemically hostile to most carbon-based life. Two of her arms pointed at data streams while her other two gripped the edges of her lectern. The surface pressure alone would crush a Venturi citizen. The temperature swings would boil a Catharn's internal fluids. Maya, the only human in the class of 43 xenobiology students, slouched in the back row, lazily sipping from her water bottle. Her messy dark hair was pulled into a bun that had given up hours ago. She'd heard this lecture approximately 800 times since joining the Galactic Institute. The microbial life. Zalthorn's mandibles clicked faster, her agitation building. Trillions of organisms per cubic meter of soil. The planet is essentially one massive bacterial warfare zone. She pulled up images of various Earth microbes, magnified to horrifying proportions. Several students in the front rows flinched backward, their various alien appendages recoiling. And the megafauna, creatures weighing multiple tons that can run at speeds exceeding. Maya's hand went up. The entire lecture hall went silent. Even the ventilation grills seemed to hold their breath. Zalthorn's compound eyes swiveled toward the back row, her forearms freezing mid-gesture. Yes, student Maya? I'm from Earth, Maya said, her tone the vocal equivalent of a shrug. The room erupted. A student with 6 eye stalks fainted. Another dropped their data pad, which clattered down 3 tiers before smashing on the floor. A third made a sound like a tea kettle achieving sentience and immediately regretting it. Zalthorn's bronze exoskeleton seemed to pale, which Maya didn't think was biologically possible. All 4 of the professor's arms pointed at Maya simultaneously. You are from the Death World. The classification, 7 Nightmare Spear we've been studying for 3 semesters. Born in Seattle, Maya confirmed, taking another sip of water. It rains a lot. The acid precipitation, someone shrieked from the middle rows. Just water, actually, Maya said, sometimes with car exhaust mixed in, but mostly water. Professor Zalthorn's mandibles worked silently for several seconds. Then she tapped a button on her lectern with one of her 4 hands. The hologram of Earth zoomed in on a forest. These vegetation clusters, the trees as you call them, they emit toxic oxygen as a waste product, and their root systems contain enough structural force to crack solid stone. You're telling me you live near these? Had one in my backyard, Maya said. Built a treehouse in it when I was 8, fell out twice, broke my arm the second time. You survived falling from the tree? Zalthorn's voice cracked. I mean, I was pretty upset about it, Maya admitted. Had to wear a cast for 6 weeks. Mom said I couldn't have ice cream until I stopped crying, which I thought was unfair because my bone was literally snapped in half. The student with 6 eye stalks hadn't woken up. Another student was hyperventilating into what looked like a breathing apparatus. Professor Zalthorn's 4 arms began pulling up more data, her movements jerky with what might have been panic. The fauna. Let's discuss the fauna. The bear's creatures massing 400 kilograms with jaw strength capable of crushing skulls. She projected an image of a grizzly bear. Half the class screamed. Surely you never encountered? Oh yeah, a camping trip when I was 14, Maya said. One got into our food supplies. Dad scared it off by banging pots together and yelling. Why yelling? Zalthorn repeated, her voice hollow. Your progenitor defeated a predator capable of decapitating most known species by making loud noises with kitchen equipment. Dad was pretty proud of himself, Maya said. Mom was less thrilled about the mess. Cree, the jellyfish-like medical officer, floated into the lecture hall through the rear entrance, his translucent bell-shaped body pulsing with concern, purple organs glowing brighter inside his gelatinous form. His tentacles writhed as he absorbed the scene. I was summoned about a medical emergency. Someone mentioned Death World exposure. The human is from Earth, Zalthorn said, pointing one of her 4 arms at Maya, while her other 3 gripped the lectern like it might escape. Kree's entire body flickered through several colors of visible distress, his internal organs shifting position, all his tentacles shot upward. That's impossible. Humans can't survive off Earth. Their biology requires the constant environmental pressure of... He paused, his bioluminescent organs pulsing rapidly. Oh no. What? Maya asked. You're breathing our station atmosphere right now, Kreese said, his tentacles beginning to shake, which has 40% less oxygen than your home world and would cause most Earth species to suffocate within minutes. You've been here for 3 cycles. Yeah, I get winded on stairs, Maya said. Been meaning to hit the gym more. Winded on stairs, Kreese's voice rose several octaves. You're experiencing constant hypoxia and describing it as a minor cardio issue. The doors at the front of the lecture hall burst open with a hydraulic hiss. Director Voss, the reptilian station administrator with emerald scales and vertical slit pupils, stormed in, his 7-foot frame making the doorway look inadequate. His forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air, and his formal gray robes swished around his muscular frame. Someone explain why I have 14 emergency alerts about a Death World survivor in Lecture Hall Gamma. She's from Earth. Multiple students shouted simultaneously, pointing at Maya with various appendages. Director Voss's vertical pupils contracted to pinpoints. His scales rippled from emerald to a darker forest green. That's not possible. We have protocols, screening processes, medical evaluations. How did... He spun towards Althorn, his tail nearly knocking over a holographic projector. Professor, explain. I was explaining why no species could survive Earth. Zalthorn's forearms waved frantically. I didn't know we had enrolled in actual... My application said I was from Earth, Maya offered helpfully, raising her water bottle. Pretty sure that was on my transcript. We thought it was a typo. Boss's scales were now approaching black. We assumed you meant one of the Earth colonies. New Earth, Earth Station, Earth's Hope. Not the actual classified nightmare sphere. It's really not that bad, Maya said. Not that bad? Professor Zalthorn's mandibles clicked so rapidly they became a blur. According to your own planetary data, your weather systems include rotating columns of air moving at 300 kilometers per hour that destroy everything in their path. Tornadoes? Maya said. Yeah, we had a basement for those. Mostly you just wait them out. Mostly, Voss repeated, his forked tongue flicking in and out rapidly. Mostly you survive planet-scale atmospheric catastrophes. Zenth, the avian security chief with a color-shifting feathered crest and sharp talons, swooped through the still-open door, her lightweight armor clicking against her feathers. Her beak clicked as she landed beside Voss. Director, I'm reading this situation as Code Omega, unclassified predator species loose on station. She's not loose, she's a student. Voss's scales were now completely black, apparently enrolled for 3 semesters. 3 semesters? Zent's crest flashed bright red. Her taloned hands gripped her weapon instinctively. How has she not? What has she been eating? Cafeteria food mostly, Maya said. The blue stuff is pretty good. What is that anyway? Synthesized nutrient paste designed for Class 2 carbon-based life forms, Kree said, his translucent body now pulsing a sickly yellow color, organs churning inside. It contains trace amounts of compounds that would be mildly toxic to most species but are generally safe for. He stopped. You've been eating our standard rations, which contain elements that would require a Class 7 digestive system to process. Is that why I'd been so hungry? Maya asked. I usually eat like 3 portions. Th3, portions of mildly toxic food, Zalthorn said, 2 of her forearms covering where her face would be if she had a face instead of a mandible cluster. Director Voss pulled out a data pad with one clawed hand, his scales slowly shifting back toward Emerald as he scrolled. According to her file, she's been here 3 cycles, has perfect attendance, and is ranked 8th in her class academically. 9th, actually, Maya corrected. That last exam on crystalline-based life forms was rough. You're apologizing for ranking 9th, Voss said slowly, in a xenobiology program designed for species who have actually evolved on stable, non-homicidal planets. Well, I should have studied more, Maya said. Professor Zalthorn's forearms dropped to her sides. Your species' homeworld makes predator evasion, atmospheric survival, and trauma recovery. Basic childhood experiences. You broke a structural component of your body as a juvenile and describe it as pretty upset. It really hurt, Maya said defensively. I need to sit down, Kree announced, despite not having legs. His entire jellyfish body just lowered 3 feet closer to the floor, tentacles drooping. Zent's crest had cycled through every color in rapid succession and settled on a confused purple. Director, what's our protocol here? Do we quarantine her? Alert Galactic Central. She's from a Class 7 death world. She could be. Could be what? Maya asked. I'm just trying to get my degree. In xenobiology, Voss said, his scales now a dull gray that suggested his brain was rebooting. You're from a planet so hostile that we use it as the textbook example of uninhabitable environments, and you're studying other species biology. Earth biology gets boring after a while, Maya said with a shrug. I mean, everything's pretty similar. Bilateral symmetry, DNA-based, mostly carbon-based with similar. Boring, Professor Zalthorn interrupted. She finds Earth biology, boring. Earth, where the microbial life wages constant warfare and the weather systems generate city-destroying vortexes. Also hurricanes, Maya added. Those are like really big tornadoes over water. Several more students fainted. Director Voss held up one clawed hand, scales finally settling on a resigned pale green. Okay, new plan. Student Maya, would you be willing to give a guest lecture about Earth from a survivor's perspective? Sure, Maya said. Can I get extra credit? You can have whatever you want if you promise not to demonstrate any Earth survival techniques on my station, Voss said. What kind of? Any, Voss said firmly. No demonstrations of any kind. That seems... She's going to tell them about the oceans, Cree moaned, his internal organs visibly sinking inside his translucent body. The oceans with the crushing pressures and the creatures that swallow prey whole and the... Actually, I was thinking of showing them pictures of my cat, Maya said, pulling out her datapad. Earth has domesticated its predators? Zalthorn's voice broke into a register Maya didn't know insectoid species could achieve. Maya pulled up a photo of Mr. Whiskers, an orange tabby lounging in a sunbeam. This is Mr. Whiskers. He's 15. Mostly he sleeps and knocks things off tables. Remaining conscious students crowded around her datapad. One of them pointed a trembling appendage at the screen. Those are retractable claws and killing teeth. You keep this in your dwelling? He's very sweet, Maya said. Once he brought me a dead bird. I think he thought I couldn't hunt for myself. The predator takes pity on you, Zenth whispered, her crest flashing horrified orange. It believes you need hunting assistance. He's a good boy, Maya said, scrolling to another photo of Mr. Whiskers wearing a tiny hat. Professor Zalthorn's forearms began bringing up Earth's ecosystem data again. According to this, your species also keeps other predators as companions, dogs, which descended from pack hunters capable of bringing down prey 10 times their size. Golden retrievers are pretty chill, though, Maya said. Chill, Voss repeated. The Death World survivor describes the domesticated descendants of apex pack hunters as chill. Can I go back to class? Maya asked. I have a paper due on silicon-based respiratory systems tomorrow. Director Voss exchanged looks with Professors Zalthorn, Cree, and Zenth. His scales cycled through several colors before settling on resigned silver. I'm going to need to file approximately 900 incident reports about this. Student Maya, you're not in trouble, but we're going to need to completely rewrite our admission screening protocols. Okay, Maya said, standing and slinging her bag over her shoulder. Does that mean I can get a mini fridge in my dorm? The walk to get midnight snacks is pretty long in low oxygen. Midnight snacks, Cree said, his voice hollow. She's functioning on partial atmosphere and complaining about snack accessibility. Get her whatever she wants, Voss told Zenth, in somewhat alert maintenance that we need to review our environmental controls. If she's been operating in hypoxic conditions for 3 cycles, we probably owe her. Can I also get better lighting? Maya asked. The station's pretty dark, makes studying hard. She wants more light, Professor Zalthorn said, 2 of her 4 arms hanging limp. Our standard illumination, which we maintain at comfortable levels for 73 different species, is too dark for the Death World native. Earth's sun is pretty bright, Maya said helpfully. Don't look directly at it or you'll damage your eyes. We have special glasses for that during eclipses. Damage your eyes, someone squeaked. Yeah, you can go blind, Maya said. Pretty serious. My school had a whole assembly about it. Director Voss's tail dragged on the floor. Get her the mini fridge and the lighting and whatever else she needs. I'm going to my office to contemplate how we accidentally enrolled a Death World survivor and didn't notice for 3 entire cycles. It was on my application, Maya said again. WE thought it was a TY8. As Maya headed for the exit, Professor Zalthorn called after her. Student Maya, would you really be willing to do that guest lecture? Maya turned, water bottle in hand. Sure, I could talk about camping or beach safety. Or the time my dad hit a deer with our car and the deer just got up and ran away. The collision with megafauna, Zalthorn said weakly. Of course. Dad had to replace the bumper though, Maya added. Insurance was not happy. After Maya left, the lecture hall remained silent except for the gentle hum of ventilation and the occasional whimper from traumatized students. Finally, Cree floated toward Director Voss, his translucent body still flickering distressed colors. Director, I need to update my medical protocols. If she's been operating in suboptimal atmospheric conditions for 3 cycles, her actual capabilities in proper Earth standard environment would be— Don't, Voss said, holding up one clawed hand. Don't finish that thought. I can't handle it. Professor Zalthorn's 4 arms slowly resumed their normal positions. Her mandibles clicked thoughtfully. I'm going to need to completely restructure my curriculum. Everything I've taught about death world classifications is based on the assumption that no specimens would be available for direct observation. She said the weather gets boring, Zenth said, her crest still cycling through confused colors. Atmospheric catastrophes. Boring. We're going to get so much data from this, Zalthorn said, a hint of academic excitement creeping into her voice. Absolutely not, Voss said firmly. No experiments, no demonstrations. She attends classes normally and we all pretend this is fine. But, no. 3 floors down in the student dormitory wing, Maya unlocked her door and flopped onto her bed. She pulled out her datapad and sent a message to her mom back on Earth. Hi, Mom. Classes are great. Made some friends. Professor got really excited about my midterm project. Miss you. Say hi to Mr. Whiskers. She hit send, grabbed a snack from her inadequate food storage, and opened her textbook on crystalline-based life forms. That paper wasn't going to write itself, even if the station's oxygen levels made her want to take a nap every 3 hours. Outside her window, the stars wheeled by as the station maintained its orbit. Somewhere in the administrative wing, Director Voss was updating admission protocols. In the medical bay, Cree was recalculating human survival parameters. In Lecture Hall Gamma, Professor Zalthorn was rewriting 3 semesters of curriculum, and Maya was just trying to figure out why crystalline entities preferred methane atmospheres. Some things, she thought, taking a bite of her mildly toxic snack, were the same no matter what planet you came from. Homework was homework, even when you were technically supposed to be dead from environmental exposure. She really did need to hit the gym more, though. Those stairs were killer.